Faye Violet, and you're hanging with Rob on Front Row Live.
Been a while since I've seen you guys. Actually, the first time I met them, I didn't meet you. So you're the new guy. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you.
I'm Ian. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you guys again. Congratulations on the record.
Thank you.
I'm obsessed with the record. The wait for the debut album was definitely worth it. So I'm really excited about it. I was looking into, I don't even know where to start with the record for starters, but I was looking into the writing sessions that you guys did. You guys had a lot of great writers on the record.
Thank you.
Two of them in particular, Carah, Faye, and Teddy Geiger.
Yes.
Can we talk about those writing sessions? What was that like for you guys?
Especially with Carah Faye, I remember going in with her and just immediately clicking with her. And we were actually writing a couple of songs for the album, and they didn't end up making it.
You painted
but then,
Teddy's nails.
Oh yeah, I painted Teddy's nails. I painted his toenails silver.
Wow.
Toenails.
You guys got close.
No, he did his toenails. I did his fingernails. That's right. And I painted them silver. And but I just remember really clicking with Carah, and I remember a lot of the songs being just so fun to write, and it was just a really nice experience with them. Yeah. And
you guys have been able to write with so many different people nowadays. How have these experiences like helped you guys out as far as writers? I know you two are mainly writing, but as far as like the rest of the band, does that help you guys at all in any way?
Yeah, I think the cool thing, one of our favorite writers we were actually talking about the other day, every time I think about some of these writers, like it inspires me, because I'm like, the way that they just like open their mouth and this stuff flies out, and you're like, how is it all brilliant? And it's probably years of like bad stuff coming out, and then now it's just all brilliant. But I mean, at least it's a goal. It's hopefully we'll be there at some point.
That's awesome. And you guys also reunited with Julian for this record. You guys did a few tracks on your EP with him, and then you guys it looks like he did the whole record this time around. What is it about Julian that you guys wanted to come back and like keep it to just him doing the whole record?
He's really funny. Like, you'll do like a writing session at his house, and he'll be like, be there at 12. And you show up at 12, and he'll just be laying on the couch, like, I don't know, fucking eating sushi or something, and he'll be like, I'm not really feeling it right now. Like, let's just, and then like it'll be 6 p.m. and he'll be like, all right, now let's go write something. It's like, it's just so chill and like natural.
My favorite thing he does though is when he's like stumped, is he face plants in random areas. So like, if he just can't think of a line or something, he kind of just like will like plank on the couch or plank just on the floor, and you're like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know why.
That's cool. that is pretty cool. That's interesting. How did you guys really like connect with him in the first place?
I actually think that was something through our team that they just knew him, and we were like, you know what, we need an executive producer. We need someone that's going to make our album sound amazing, sound cohesive, and someone that we're really going to connect with. And so we went in for an unofficial meeting with him, and we just really connected on, you know, from regular daily conversation to like really deep stuff about like life and just everything, and we thought that it was a really good fit. Yeah. And
with this album, obviously your sound has progressed. It's changed a lot. It seems like you guys finally know what your sound is. And going back to like what I said earlier, it was worth the wait for the debut album. I think if you would have done the music that you're doing right now with an EP, I think you guys might have changed your sound a little more when that album would have come out. Yeah. But I like the sound that you guys have now. Like, how did this sound come about for you guys?
Definitely Julian helped. Oh, thanks. Wow. Julian definitely helped, because I feel like we were writing with so many different people at one point that we were like, these songs are all great, but it's like 8 different bands. And so he kind of helped us find that balance that was like, we still have different influences in different genres, but it sounds cohesive, and it's probably the most fun we've had on stage in a long time. So yeah. Different bands with the same executive producer, so
it's all good. See, the thing is, the record, like, I'll listen to it, and then once it's done, like, I'll put it on again. So, and I'm sure a lot of the fans, you know, are enjoying the record as well. It's hard to pick a good, like, my favorite single on this record, to be honest with you, because they're all amazing. But the ones that I've been stuck with are Hoodie. I don't know why Hoodie.
We just announced that as our next single.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Hoodie and All We Ever Wanted.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that one's going to be a single. I'm not sure yet, but we
got so excited because I think that was a writing session Rena and Casey went into. And when they brought it back to us.
For which one? Hoodie or
All We
Ever Wanted? Okay.
And Miranda and I were like super excited over it.
The funny thing is too, our live version is a different structure. Like it's a completely different song.
Different versions.
Yeah,
Like there were like
tons of different ones.
8 or something. It's crazy.
I mean, the reason we play the one we do live is just really because we're lazy, and like because that was the version that we had like earlier, and eventually it changed and got put on the album, and we're just like, we don't want to redo the tracks, and just like, just leave it all there.
We just like the live version. Like there's a certain aspect of it that really works live, and then there's a certain aspect of the studio version that works being a studio version. And also I always love when bands have different versions, like where you get like All We Ever Wanted live from wherever, and you're like, yes, this is their live version. I love that. So hopefully we have like, I don't know, a live album at some point. Cool. Yeah. Maybe not now, but yeah.
That track, when I found out that Carah was part of like the writing process, I was actually surprised she wasn't on that writing process. Because with her band Shining Toy Guns, it kind of reminds me of that kind of like vibe and style. Yeah, so I was a little surprised that she wasn't on that. The other track was Where Have You Been All My Night? I love the synth. Who's doing the synth, you or Ian?
Well, we actually don't have a live version yet, and the recording.
I gotta go.
Yeah, he's like, actually, I'm not gonna watch the show anymore. I mean, I'm gonna be doing the synth part, but I don't know. I don't even know what you're doing
out
yet.
I call some of it like the kind of the stabbing bass.
So many synths that we're both gonna be doing.
Honestly, it's gonna take us probably like a couple days to really like ham out a good,
figure it out,
arrangement for it live.
All I'm saying is I'm doing that doo doo doo. That's all.
So when you guys went into the studio to record this, because it's a fun album, like I'm sure it was a lot of fun like recording it. How did you guys focus on actually getting work done? Because like I said, it looks fun. It seems like it was a fun time.
I don't know if we ever said we're done.
Yeah.
I don't even know that we're done yet.
So this is just like the rough cuts, right?
Right.
We're waiting for the actual album. It's still coming.
We need the official from the outside. These are just
demo album.
Yeah, exactly.
So with this album, although it was all fun and games, like what have been some of the challenges that you guys faced when recording this album or even writing the album?
I mean, definitely. I think I know every writer has this experience where you're like, am I good enough to be a writer? Like, why am I having writer's block right now? And I know we all go through it. It's just those periods of I don't know, for lack of a better term, a huge brain fart. And I remember having a lot of those because we had just gotten off tour, and I was like, okay, how do write? So it was basically just rediscovering ourselves.
Okay.
I guess that was the most difficult part, is realizing what kind of music we wanted to do, rediscovering who we were as artists and what we wanted to talk about, and pushing the boundaries of that, and then reeling it back in when it went too far, blah, blah, blah. And just knowing ourselves enough to be able to set those boundaries, cross them when we want to, and limit ourselves when we want to, and just kind of play with the line a little bit.
And as far as like new boundaries, your vocals are ridiculous.
Thank you.
You've grown so much with the way you sing, the way you sound. Like, it's amazing. I was laughing because I was like, your voice has too many faces, in a good sense. I was trying to throw that one back, but it's like you can almost have any genre in front of you and you can like nail it. How did you go about like learning how to like sing the way that you do today?
Casey's been giving me vocal lessons.
Nice.
Every day.
I feel like Julian was really Rena.
But it is kind of funny. It's not really like technique wise, but she recorded like most of the vocals just sitting in a chair like with the mic. Like you think it would be like the professional booth
like
with like the thing like just like this, just sitting there like, I don't know.
But it helps
sounds
though.
Good, so
like,
I mean I guess it worked, but
I feel like because Julian was right there when she was recording, and it wasn't like there was a wall between them, I feel like it gives you a different kind of dynamic.
Yeah, it was really cool watching them work together, because it was a recording process that I'd never seen them do. I don't know. It was cool because it was just like back and forth on the same level.
What about for the instruments? Did you guys do anything different this time around? I mean, you guys have been playing for years.
I mean, it was definitely a lot of like, I remember before we had Ian in the band, Julian was even just like, oh, want to play a bass part on the album? Like, whatever. It was super chill. Very chill, very like lazily.
Just like, hey, you want to record
well
this part?
put
You just
together.
plug in, like, do it, and then go do something else. And it wasn't
also-
like time to sit down and do all the parts. It was
yeah.
kind of just little bits at a time, and yeah.
Also, this is the first time that we went back and forth between, live drums and not live drums.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then just like 88 layers of synths. So it was kind of a different animal.
Yeah,
It-
definitely not like because it's so synth based now. Whereas before in the previous EP, it was so guitar driven that it definitely like relies on Miranda a lot more than it
Right.
did on the first EP. Well, you weren't even playing like piano on the first EP.
I know,
so.
crazy.
But even though it's really synth based, like it's not washed out. Like you guys are still a band, you guys are still playing live, you guys are still rocking out the way that you used to. So
Thank you.
that's what I really like that you guys did, and I'm excited to see the show tonight.
Thank you.
The album is out now. It's called,
From the outside.
and all your fans should pick it up because
It's good.
Ian knows.
I think it's great. You might think it's great. Go out, listen
guys,
to
I love it. Just pick it up.
Try it
That's it
out.
for me now. Front Row Live. I'm hanging out with Hey Violet. Now we're gonna go watch the show because they kind of kick ass.
It's so-